Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited today, honestly. I mean, California native, but she came from Costa Rica for this exhibit and many other things, but for this exhibit. And so I'm really honored and I'm so excited to have Wylie. She's been such a wonderful, just inspiration, regardless of that I'm older or not. Inspiration because she has such a beautiful zest for life, adventure for life that I think anybody who knows her would admire. And so the first question is, where did this zest for life come from and such adventure and such, you know, it's not so easy to just get in the ocean and be a incredible surfer as Wylie is. It takes a lot of guts to get into the ocean like that and to really be one with it. And so I wonder where this came from. How did this start?
So actually, when I was a kid, I was terrified of the ocean. I was like, absolutely not. No, thank you. Stingrays, jellyfish, great white sharks. Like, I'm out of there.
Wow.
And so like a lot of us are familiar with junior lifeguards, right?
Yes.
It's this summer camp where kids learn how to be super comfortable in the ocean. And my dad was like, you need to go to this. I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope, I'm good.
Didn't say that.
That's what I was thinking. I was so scared. I was, of the unknown.
Yeah.
Right. And like as a kid, we do not know like what we were truly capable of yet.
Yeah.
And I went to this, and I was forced to go to this camp, and I absolutely fell in love. And I went back for like 4 years in a row.
That's so great.
And like you couldn't get me out of the water, and I think it came from this that first moment of like really overcoming a serious fear.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like what lies beyond that is absolutely insane and beautiful. Right? Yeah.
And so that's great that you mentioned that, because when I guide people in art, I talk a lot about the unknown and about what lies in the unknown, which is, as you know well, the magic.
Yeah.
And then everything that is on the known side, we already know it and it's all right. I call it the comfort zone sofa, to just stay on the known side, on the safe side, comfort zone sofa. And then when we go over that precipice, as you do often, like you go into a wave, every wave is that precipice.
Yeah.
Every start of a canvas is also that precipice.
Throwing the paint on the canvas the first time is like,
exactly.
Oh, what's gonna happen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And only in the other side do we find that magic of art, of love, of zest for life, all of those adventures. Can you tell us a little bit more about your artistic process and what inspires you to be connected to these awesome creatures in the water? And I know some of it, but I would love for you to tell us about it.
Yeah, so the artistic process of this all, well, what started, like these whales specifically, so the past 2.5 years I've been painting only humpback whales. And it started from a place of really extreme loneliness. And so I moved myself down to Costa Rica like 3 years ago. And there's an amazing community there, for sure. And for some reason that I think I've come closer to figure out, I couldn't like plug into like a tribe of people that I was searching for, right? And instead I was met with like extreme experiences in nature, with nature. I was met with like intense, rainy, dark nights where it's like, okay, I have like me, my thoughts, and like some survival skills. And I was left with this 3-foot by 6-foot canvas that was just blank in my room, and I didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, I literally felt like I was like spiraling out of control, like running out of money. I'm in Central America. What just happened? And I'm looking at this canvas and I'm like,
I love it.
You and me, babe, we're gonna do this.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was this one. This one actually got sold down in Costa Rica. It's a print, but it was really a little bit bigger than this. And I started with this color here, right? The deep, dark unknown.
Oh,
right. I'm like mixing this color and I'm like, yeah, more black. Yeah. Okay, more black. And I start throwing these colors and it's like, and then it becomes like this physical somatic release of like, oh, this is frustrating, oh, this is scary, I'm sad, you know? And then you work your way up the canvas and you get these like brighter colors and you're like, I'm also like coming into my own. I'm also discovering so much about myself. I'm having these tranquil, exciting, riveting experiences, and I've done them all by myself, you know? Yeah.
Incredible. Bravo. And, you know, it's interesting. And of course, this is a reoccurring theme with, I would imagine, all artists. I'm not sure because I haven't interviewed everyone yet, but
not yet.
One of the reoccurring themes, and it is in my art as well, is the role that art in itself takes in our lives as a healing tool. And many times when we start in artistry or as viewers into art, we don't understand maybe how important art is to the healing, you know, to understanding our own selves, really. Because many times I have said, you know, these, as you mentioned, it's a mirror of what's going on within.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess everything is a mirror of everything. How we do one thing is how we do another. And so I'm really happy that you touch upon the theme of how it has, the process was so integral to coming out of a spot where you felt, you know, fear, regular human emotions that we can all connect to. But if you could expand, you know, what does, and this is a ridiculously broad question, but what does art mean to you? I mean, as that tool?
So originally, like right out of college, I experienced this probably like 2 or 3 year block where I couldn't like pick up the pencil. I didn't want to, and I would. And I would like slowly work through pieces, but I was in like a dark place. And I realized, I was like, I don't know how Van Gogh did it, but like I can't create from a place of sadness. You know, like I just like, it's just not me. My art is like light and love and happiness. And then I realized if I just like, I had to like step over that line and go for it, even if it hurt to touch the paintbrushes, even if like the colors weren't exactly like what I wanted, just like put the freaking paint on the canvas and see what happens.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's touching back to the unknown. Like you don't, when you're in these dark places, you don't know where you're going to end up afterwards. But like, I promise you, and I know after like so many times of going through it, it's going to be somewhere so much more vibrant and illuminated and excellent than you were before. Like that's just how it goes. That's nature.
Yeah, exactly. And I you know, I'm glad that you say that, because sometimes when I'm the only one saying this and in guiding people in art, maybe they don't believe me. But I've said this exactly like that too, where, you know, the laws of gravity apply everywhere, let's say. And so, of course, if we have success here in the art and we see it over and over again, how it is almost like a process that keeps happening once and once again, like gravity, laws of gravity. Of course, if it happens here, it will happen everywhere for us. And so I wonder if, you know, what are some of the most important lessons that you have taken from your art that you can take into life?
So I've grown the most through this exhibit. Like the person I was 2.5 years ago would not recognize this person like standing in front of you today. There's no way. And so I'm going to bring it back to why humpback whales, because this applies. Like if the law of gravity is going to bring us to this, let's say gravity of the paint falling, and it brings us to this place of success where we've created something beautiful over and over again. Humpback whales spend the majority of their lives in solitude. And while they're extremely empathic and social beings, they choose this. They choose to spend the majority of their time in the great, big, scary, dark depths of the ocean. And every year, they find their way back home. They find their way back to their friends, to their family. And they're doing this by not seeing, but they have this like this deep knowing that if they set their course, and they set their course and they don't stray from it even a degree. They set their course and they end up exactly where they're supposed to be. And that's what art has been for me. Like, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know if this is going to like bring me to a place of financial stability. I don't know if this is going to like bring me closer to people that I feel connected to, but I know that like if I keep following this work, that I'm going to find a place where I'm happy.
Oof. Yeah. Nothing could be more profound. Nothing could be more profound, honestly. I mean, this is music to my ears because this is, you know, exactly how I feel aligned to art and life.
Yeah.
Exactly in that way. Could you expand? I know that in your artist bio, you speak, and in your artist statement, you talk a lot about the spiritual aspects of what whale represents in Maori culture. And I know you've swam in oceans all over the world, being with these creatures. Tell me, you know, expand on some aspects of that spiritual thing that we all humans have with these incredible creatures.
Yeah. So the spiritual, symbolic part of humpback whales, in a lot of different cultures, and especially what I've learned in French Polynesia, they're these symbols of protection and connection. You see, I got like the gift of spending 7 minutes with a mom and baby humpback, just embracing each other. And to see this whale that's bigger than this entire gallery, being so tender with her little one, like connection, so sensitivity, you know, protection.
Yeah.
And in this spirituality, it crosses over a little bit into the science of them too. So that we have these structures in our brain called spindle neurons, and they're responsible for empathy and sensitivity. And that system of these neurons is more complex in whales than it is in humans.
Incredible.
So they have a greater capacity for empathy than even us human beings. And as soon as you make eye contact with one, you absolutely know. Like, it's looking back at you and it's like, keep feeling.
Yeah.
Like, keep feeling.
Yeah.
That's what I have to tell you.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. What a beautiful message.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous message. It's a gorgeous message, and that we can learn. We don't have to imagine that, you know, humans is the top tier. We can learn from other beings on this planet,
so
and we should absolutely learn from other beings on this planet.
The humpback whales are like said to be the only other, what's the word for like when you put others before yourself? Altruistic. The only other altruistic being on this planet besides humans. And I'm like, even that's kind of debatable sometimes.
Yeah, it is kind of debatable sometimes. Exactly.
Like, truly, we have all these beautiful stories of them protecting other cetaceans, human beings, their kin, you know, putting their lives in the way of danger to help another being, which, like, not every single human's gonna do.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This is incredible that we don't need to go into the ocean ourselves, but we can see it through your eyes, which is fantastic. And literal, because the color is exactly the color of your painting.
French Polynesia.
Tell us, for closing up, what is something that you would like the viewers to take away from your art, or the experiences, or anything that you would like to say to the viewers in relation to art or this?
I would say I want everybody to take away this feeling of courage in the fact that we all have a deeply rooted and innate knowing in every single one of our souls, that we have this perfect compass inside of us, that if we just listen to it, we're going to find our way back to exactly where we're supposed to be. So it's courage to like dive into the deep, scary unknown and know it's for your greater good.
Oof.
Yeah.
Bueno, nothing could be better. We will.
You will. You will.
We will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Wyliebee.
Thank you, guys.